Welcome to Real Dad Bro Talk, where all the guys come to hang out. 100% real talk with Matt and company. Here we go.
All right.
Little hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Bring the noise. Real Dad Bro Talk here. You got Matt and Nick for another epic episode of RDBT. Nick, you there, my friend?
I'm here, my brother.
What is going on, man?
Big day. So before I start anything, before I say anything,
okay,
I want to wish my wife happy birthday. It was her birthday today. We took yesterday. We both had the day off.
Nice.
Went shopping a little bit. Went out to eat. Had a nice, relaxing day. So before we even get started, happy birthday to my wife.
There you go. Did you get to go to Bed Bath & Beyond too? Home Depot?
No, we went. So we're in the middle of, we're actually building a house right now. So we went furniture shopping yesterday.
Good call, man. Did you find anything good?
Found some expensive shit. I don't know if I'd say
Furniture's
good.
expensive.
She liked it, but it is expensive.
You know what they say, man. Happy wife is what?
That's a happy life, but what I'm saying is how much overtime am I working for all this crap?
Don't matter. It doesn't matter. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
But all right, we got a good episode today, man. We're gonna update it on the NCAA tournament. And by the way, happy birthday, Ashley. Sorry, I should have said that too. But the NCAA tournament, we're gonna update the bracket, let you know where you stand. Baseball kicked off today, right? Regular season, so we're gonna talk about that.
Opening day.
And then wanted to talk about kids and technology. And by technology, tablets and phones. So it'd be kind of interesting. But before we dive into that, so quick story, man. So I used to cut my own hair, right? Simple stuff. Used to cut it and, fade it in, the whole shebang. And then my wife said, I'm starting to get old and I can't see as well. You need to go get your hair cut, by true professionals. I said, okay. So I went to Master Cuts. Yep, I'm dropping the name. Went to Master Cuts and had her just, tighten me up, man. Short on the bottom and then fade it to the top, right? Dude, I got done with that haircut and I don't know how to describe it. Besides, it looked like maybe somebody had put a bowl on my head and she didn't fade it and she cut it up high enough, like on the sides, to the top, but then didn't really cut my bangs in the front. So it looked like, a fishtail, right? Like the back of a fishtail, how it's like wider that way. My bangs look like fishtails on my forehead. It was the worst haircut I've legitimately ever had in my entire life. I actually had to go to another place, and I called that person in advance and was like, are you guys got an opening? And she was like, yeah, it's just, walk in. So I was like, great. So I went in like 10 minutes later, and I had a hat on. And I took my hat off, and she was like, oh, you're the one who called. I was like, I knew it. I knew it was that bad. And she was like, did she really do this? I was like, I'm dead serious. Like, yes, absolutely. And she said, you paid for it? And I said, well, yeah, I paid for it. I don't know what else to... What would you have done? Would you have paid for it, or would you have been like, this is bullshit?
Here's the real question. You have to pay for it. They did a service, you paid for it.
Okay.
Did you tip them?
No. Well, I think I did. I think I did. I think I took like $3, but...
I think if it was that bad, when they're done and you look in the mirror and you just say, seriously? That's the best you can do right there? I apologize,
man.
But it's terrible.
It was rough, and she had like her kid there, so it was like, I don't know if it was like distracting or whatever, but that was the worst haircut I've ever had in my life. And you cut your own hair, don't you?
Yeah.
Nothing to yours.
I just have a buzz, so it's real easy. You can't mess that one up.
Yeah. So be forewarned. If you want to go to Master Cuts, just think about it before you go, and make sure you know what you're doing. So
think before you cut.
Yeah, I should have taken a
same as a couple episodes ago where we said this episode was not brought by Shock Top. This episode is not brought to you by Master Cut.
No, man. Master Cuts, you need to step up your game. Right now you're sucking. Because I felt like maybe my 6-year-old could have cut my hair and looked just as good. For real. Like, I know that sounds crazy, But that's just no joke. And I should have taken a picture, and I didn't. And my wife was bummed too because she really wanted to see how jacked up it was, and I was just pissed that my hair looked so stupid. So
now is it still jacked up, or are you back to normal?
I'm back to normal, man. They fixed it. The old lady fixed it, but she was making fun of me as she was fixing it. So whatever.
Yeah, you can't knock her for that. I think everybody would.
I was making fun of myself, man. But so who's you got the bracket up for the tourney?
So let's pull it up here.
Yeah, let's see who's winning. Because if you predicted this Final Four, maybe like obviously there's 2 number ones, so that could have been a possibility. But
so we got bracket wise,
mm-hmm.
same as last week. Mr. Mike Ryan is holding on to that lead. We do have a little bit of a change up below him. Mm-hmm. Tim Leedstrom's now in second. Mike Ryan actually has another one. He's in third. I would like to point out, now last week we talked about if you or I won, that we would not accept a prize. The prize would go to second place.
Sure.
My 2 entries were in 16th and 17th,
mm-hmm.
and I still had faith that at least one of those 2 brackets still had a chance. I'm in 4th, buddy.
How did you pull that off? Is it Michigan?
I'm in 4th.
Did you pick Michigan?
If Kansas were to win, I have the highest possible projected points. So I would just like to point out, not only am I still in this thing,
you ever have a chance to win it?
I've got a damn good chance to win this thing, Matt.
Well, good job, man. But you're not going to win it. But good job. Good job, though.
So we got.
You know what? I know we have people up in that, that place above us up north, and I'm glad you listen. But I know it's Big Ten, but it'd be tough for me to root for them.
So let's look at that side real quick. So you got number 3 Michigan, which I don't think a ton of people projected them, but that wasn't a surprise for them coming out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going up against number 11, Loyola. Now here's my question to you.
Sure.
Do you think Michigan just walks right into the championship game, or is Loyola?
Oh,
that's a hard word to say. Loyola is a real deal contender.
The real deal. There's no way. They're 32-5 for the year, right? I think everybody when this bracket came out, everybody projected them to go far. Everybody did. Now, I don't think very many people were like, "Hey, they're going to get an opportunity to get into the championship game." I don't think that was the case, but a lot of people said, "Look out for them." They watched their book of work and said, "Wow, this is a pretty tough team. This could be a tough team because they're defensive minded." And they're just strong that way. So if Michigan overlooks them, that would be a massive mistake on Michigan's end. You agree?
I would agree. Who are you rooting for?
Rooting for? I don't know, man. You know what? Out of that one, I'm just going to say whoever. Yeah, I'm not going to pick one. I don't know. Because I want to, you want to be kind of faithful to the Big Ten a little bit, and you want someone to get in there. But it's tough because of the team. And then the other one, I don't know if you want to see that. I don't know, man. That's tough. I'll go Michigan. I think they're going to win. I was
getting ready to throw you under the bus there for not making a pick. So at least you made a pick.
All right. Michigan. I'm going to say they're going to get in it.
I absolutely 100% hate that I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
But I do have to stick to my bracket. And in my bracket, I have the scum of Michigan moving on.
No offense, Roseville. No offense, man.
Unfortunately, I have to root for Michigan on that one. So on both of those sides, you got neither one of the number 1 teams made it to the Final Four. On the other side, you got both of the number 1s made it. Villanova, Kansas. I think Villanova, I kind of expected. Kansas, to be honest, even though I picked them, I honestly thought Duke was going to be able to beat them, and that didn't happen at all. I watched most of that game.
Yeah.
They had, and Duke had a hell of a chance at the end of regulation. I think it was Grayson Allen kind of took the ball and ran around saying, "I don't care what anybody else does, I'm shooting this final shot."
Oh,
had a chance. It bounced around 2 or 3 times around the rim and didn't go in. I think as soon as I saw that, there was their shot. I don't think they're going to be able to come back. And sure as shit, that's what happened. Kansas pulled it out. But so if
Grayson
you look
Allen's
on that
a turd,
side,
by the way. Grayson Allen, if you listen, you're a turd. Go ahead.
He's one that when he moves on, I think he's a senior this year, so I think he's moving on this year. He's going to have to calm that temper down.
Yeah, $10 says he gets in the game like a dookie game, at the end. No pun intended. But like a crap game at the end there, some dookie time, and someone bag tags him. Bet me. Because that's what I would do. I'd totally bag him.
If he keeps that attitude up, it's not going to fly in the NBA.
No, it won't work very well.
And as I say that, I've thought of this, and there was one, I want to say a couple days ago, and I'm not even sure which two teams it was. But is there anything more pathetic than an NBA fight? When they fight, it's like two teenage girls pushing each other, just waiting for people to come break them up.
Yeah. It's almost like
pathetic.
You push and you look around. Come on, man.
That's all they're doing. They push each other and just they're like, all right, some of them grab me. I don't want to do this.
Right. Yeah.
But maybe he will get away with it. I don't know.
No, he won't. That's the one guy they're not going to be. That's like he's like the Baker Mayfield of the NBA or the Johnny Manziel. People want to just destroy him.
I would say Johnny Manziel. I would 100% agree with that comparison. People love to hate him.
Yep.
And he didn't do himself any favors going to Duke already. Duke's a widely, unless you're a Duke fan, I think you either love him or hate him. So he automatically got put on that boat going there.
He's a cheater.
And then he's a turd while he's there. I don't know. So that game. So who you got coming out of that one?
I'm gonna go with Kansas. I'm gonna say Bill Self gets his team ready. I'm gonna say they're gonna pull it off.
Getting pretty boring here, bud. I'm gonna have to agree with you again. I'm 100% off of my bracket because I do have Kansas moving on.
Well, then you know what? Just to make it different, I'll just say Villanova. They did it before, right? Wasn't that long ago they won a championship, wasn't it? Like 3-4 years ago?
Not too long ago.
Yeah. They can do it again. Fine. I'll take Villanova and Michigan, and you got Michigan and Kansas.
I'll go with it. I'm interested to watch it. I think what's another championship games Monday night, so I'm assuming the Final Four are probably Saturday, by Saturday night.
Yeah.
I'm excited. This is when we've talked about this before with how freaking long the basketball season is. This is when it's actually exciting. These are when the games mean something. You're seeing crazy amounts of emotion out of both teams. And
right. So let me ask you this question. Are you going to be as pumped if it's Loyola, Chicago versus Villanova? Or are you going to be like, oh, damn, can't wait to watch this game?
So, first of all, I will be deeply depressed because that would mean my chances of winning the Real Dad Bro Talk bracket are out the window.
Yeah.
On the other side, I love watching the underdog. Who's more of an underdog than an 11 seed, Loyola Chicago, going up against a 1 seed, whether it be Kansas or Villanova? I wouldn't say I'd be more inclined to watch it because either way I'm going to watch the national championship. But it would give me more of a rooting factor in it, I guess you could say.
All right.
I love seeing the underdog. I would love to see an 11 seed win the national championship.
Would
you? So if I can't win the bracket, I'm 100% on their team.
That'd be crazy if they won it. When's the last time something like that happened? There's a trivia question for you.
I think that goes on the HQ app as a trivia question. Because I do not know that one.
I have no idea. When's the last time an 11 seed made it to the NCAA finals and won?
I think that's a question for Siri.
Yeah, right. or Alexa, or whatever you're using, right?
I am excited to watch them. I think they'll both be good games. I think they're pretty evenly matched, both of them. And I hate to root for Michigan, but I guess we'll see what happens. So before we move on, by the next time we have our podcast, this will be all over. So of the Final Four teams, who is your national champion?
So I got Villanova versus Michigan. I'm going to say Villanova.
Villanova?
Yeah. And I'm going to say it's going to be, because it's a national championship and it's going to be such a, hard-fought game, it's going to come down to the wire.
I'm going Kansas.
Over Michigan? Yeah.
That's what I got in my final. My final two is Michigan versus Kansas. And as much as I love to win, there was no way I could actually put Michigan as winning this whole thing. That was as far as I could take them. So if that is correct, if it is Michigan versus Kansas, I'm putting my Buckeye stuff on and saying, go Jayhawks.
Dude, what if Michigan wins? What would you do?
I'd probably turn my Facebook off for a couple days.
You'd have to. You would have to.
I don't think there's anything more annoying than a Michigan fan.
You would
I hate this. For all the people listening that are Michigan fans, I apologize, but I don't think there is anything in this world more annoying than a University of Michigan fan.
What about the Pittsburgh Steelers fans?
I think Michigan's got them beat. That's a close second. That is a very close second.
Those Pittsburgh Steelers fans annoy the shit out of me.
The worst is when you get someone that's both.
Yeah. Hey, Mike Boyer, if you're listening, Pittsburgh sucks. Just saying. Just got to give a shout out to Boyer.
Works.
So, opening day was today, though, for baseball. Game 1, right? Of how many? Of how, like, I thought it was like at least 700 games. It's only one, so it's 162.
162 is the current.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's a lot.
Yeah, put that into perspective of like games. Like, just think about. I mean, that's insane, and it goes on forever.
So I posed a question on Facebook this week, and I'm pulling up the results.
Yeah.
Currently where they stand, and I want to get your kind of take on it.
All right.
So 162 games.
Yeah.
Let me repeat that: 162 games,
not including playoffs,
not
spring training,
playoffs, or spring training.
Gotcha.
In your opinion, is that too many games?
I voted absolutely. Yes.
78% of people agreed with you.
That's too many. You lose interest. You can't. Well, I would say you lose interest. You don't gain interest as easily because you know that so many things can happen. I mean, when you go in the All-Star break, that's halfway through the season, and you're 80 games into that thing, man. Like, that is insane. That's the so. Basketball's 82, right? What's hockey?
82.
Okay. And then we double that up for baseball? Like, why? That's crazy to me.
So if you were going to change it, let me just ask,
Sure.
what would you put, how many games would you play in an MLB season?
In an MLB season, I would at least cut that down to, let's see, let's say a third of that, or a quarter. So let's say if you got 162 games, I would say, I'm going to go with like 120.
I was thinking 100.
Just because there are, like, certain situations that can happen. There's rotations, there's things like that. But to get to the point where that's 162 just seems like, because if you go down to 100 to 120, you got to be cutting out 2 months of that season, right? At least a month and a half.
You wouldn't even necessarily have to cut out the amount of times they play, but you figure baseball.
It's more spacing, right?
Yeah, correct. When you're watching, when the baseball season starts, you figure every single night they're going to be on TV. They can only get a couple days off a month. Just add a few more. Instead of 4-game series, knock it down to 3 games. A couple of those 3 games, knock it down to 2 games. Or instead of playing 4 games in a row against Houston and then traveling up to LA to start another 4-game series, give them a couple days break in between. You wouldn't necessarily have to shorten the season. You could still have it. I think it's damn near a 6-month period that the season goes on. You could still have the same amount of time, but just give them a few days, a few extra days off in there. Mm-hmm. It is a hell of a long of a season. 162 games.
Right. It's crazy long. Well, if you cut it back like a month and a half, though, maybe it won't be as cold at the tail end of the season. But I don't know. Right now, I think this is kind of when you look at it a little bit. So, like, opening night, it's interesting. There's a lot of like excitement there because it's starting. But then 20 games into it, you're kind of like, oh boy, got a long way to go still. And then you really don't pick up interest because, like, let's say at the All-Star break, your team's out of it. You're 80 games in, but you're out of it. I mean, you're kind of like, you have 80 more games for your team just to suck? Like, that's a long-ass season, man. That's crazy long. And then when you get into the playoffs, you get, not only do you have playoffs, you have what? Don't you have one game where it's like a play-in, right?
Yeah.
So you have that plus the playoffs and their series, and it takes forever. Now, the World Series last year, fan-freaking-tastic. You agree? LA and Houston, man, that was a great World Series. It was fun to watch, exciting. That's where my interest was. It was interesting for me because I wanted the Cleveland to get in, so I was watching at that time, and I wanted them to win it, so I'm watching that. But it's only till like the ALCS, the NLCS, and then the championship. Other than that, man, I'm not really. I mean, I guess the All-Star break is kind of neat because they have some cool like home run derby and some things like that. But you can't. I mean, to keep interest that long is tough.
Agreed. I think that's the biggest reason they need to look at cutting it down. It's a lot of games. I love watching baseball. We both, when we were a little younger and a little quicker, played baseball ourselves, so we both have played the sport.
Yeah.
I love watching it, especially once you get to October baseball. I turn into a little girl watching the games, and it gets to the bottom of the ninth, the tie game. I'm sitting on the edge of my bed or seat or wherever I am watching these games. October baseball is freaking wonderful. And you get those games throughout the year where it's extra innings or it's just a team you love to hate. I'm a Cleveland Indians fan. I love playing the Yankees. My wife's a Yankees fan, and
Awesome.
I had to seriously consider not putting the ring on because of that. But, I love when we play them, so that's always games we watch. I like to catch at least a couple games a week. Some of them, for example, opening day for the Cleveland Indians, who right now I would put in the top 5 of the MLB. Opening
so?
night, we play at 10 o'clock tonight. What kind of bullpucky is that? We're in Seattle to start the season. We don't even start till 10 o'clock. I don't know about you guys, but I get up at 4:30 in the morning for work. How in the world am I supposed to start watching a baseball game at 10:10? Beside the point, but whatever. But we're in Seattle to start the season.
Where are we playing tonight?
Seattle.
Oh man.
So I don't know how much of opening day I'm gonna actually get to watch of the Cleveland Indians, but
No, I ain't watching it.
But during the season, you get those games where it's extra innings or it's a team that you love to hate, so you're going to watch. But I don't. Take, for example, hockey. 82 games. They're spread out pretty good. I like to try and watch damn near every single one of them. Obviously, you're going to have stuff going on. You're not going to be able to see a few of them. But I try and watch every single one. Baseball, man, I'm hoping for a couple games a night. That almost gets to be too much when you got. There'll be weeks they play all 7 days. So I think it's something they need to consider. I know it's been talked about for a few years now about shortening the season. And I think some of the players probably you just get used to it, so they don't like it. But something they really got to consider. Season's too long. You get kind of the same with college basketball. You get kind of bored throughout the year. All-Star breaks kind of when you get people to start picking up because you're at least in the second half of the year. Playoff races starting to see who's going to be real contenders going into October.
Right.
You got to do something.
Yeah.
But I am excited.
Agree,
you start seeing last few days, if you follow on Twitter or Facebook or anything, I said I'm a big Cleveland Indians fan. They start putting their promo videos out. I start turning back into the little girl inside and getting all excited to watch them, and I'm excited for it. Like I said, we both played baseball.
Yeah.
We've been on that diamond playing before. I'm excited for it. I love baseball. I love watching it. I just don't want to watch 162 games.
Agreed. We'll have to go to a Cleveland game this year. That's for sure.
Probably do that.
Haven't been to an Indians game in a long-ass time. So I have to do that.
I've been to a few Clipper games. Being here in Columbus, we got the AAA affiliate right downtown, real close to a Nationwide Arena. So it is fun to go watch them. I do love Dime a Dog Night. Take $1 and your whole family's fed. And I will say, I don't know if you have you been to the new
you'd probably
Clipper
spend
Stadium?
$2. What?
Oh,
Yeah.
you calm down now. One of the nicest ballparks I've ever been
is
to.
nice.
The AAA team.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's got little space for the kids to run around, play in the water, all kinds of stuff.
As far as spending a summertime night, it's hard to beat going out to the ballpark, getting some hot dogs,
some beer,
getting a few beers, watching a baseball game.
I agree. Maybe we'll do that instead since it's closer.
A lot more plausible than going all the way up to Cleveland.
Agreed. Let's do it. Sounds good. So, your little girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's 3?
Will be 3 in a couple months.
Okay. So she's not 3 yet. She's almost there. And here's a scenario, right? Let's say you got people over at your house. You're trying to watch a game or something like that, or you're getting dinner ready, all this crap, right? And she's in a shit mood, mad, ticked. Nothing can make her happy. But you think there's one thing, like, what is that one thing? What's your go-to to get her to chill out?
My go-to, if I'm trying to get her to calm down,
Yep.
try and get some quiet time.
Yep.
She has her own iPad.
Yep.
Turn on either YouTube Kids,
Yep.
or we use, like we've talked in the past, we use Hulu, so it just has an app.
Okay.
And I turn on Doc McStuffins or Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
At least half hour, somewhere in there, it's quiet time.
Is it every day?
Every single day she's watching that iPad.
That brings us to our next topic, is kids and technology. Tablets, phones, everything. Like, no joke, everywhere you go now, and it's nothing wrong with, like, what you just said, too, because I'm guilty as well. But, like, wherever you go, there's parents, and then they're handing their kids their cell phones because they're acting up or trying to keep them occupied, and that's the go-to now. It's the tablets, and it's the cell phones with YouTube, or like you said, your apps, so they can watch some of their shows and things like that. So we have too many. We have 2 phones and 3 tablets. So we try to limit it, right? During the week, we say 30 minutes a week. You can do things, and then on the weekends we try to do an hour, right? But they're kids, man. They're not. I mean, if they're involved in something, they're gonna be like watching it. But my kids are obsessed with YouTube. The shit's insane, honestly. It's watching, and it's not even like, I don't understand it. It's watching kids play games. So it's like watching people play Fortnite, or it's watching people play Roblox, or Minecraft, or like, it's not them even playing the game, it's them watching kids play the game. And then, like, when it's a half hour's up and you tell them, like, even when you give them the tablet, you're like, hey, you got a half hour, and they're like, okay, yeah, yay, and they're playing and listening or whatever, and then next thing you know, like, time's up, oh man, well, come on, and they get mad, and they, like, sometimes my 6-year-old even cries. He gets so mad about it. It blows me away, because it's not like anything's different. He's literally watching somebody on YouTube, and he is crying because I told him it's time to give up his tablet, man. So we got this system now that we're trying to do, is we have a basket, and mommy and daddy included. So at a certain time, did you break something? What'd you do?
Nope, we're good.
It's like you broke something. So at a certain time, so we'll say, like, what? We usually say, like, we give them that 30 minutes or whatever. Someone's got to go in the basket, and then mommy and daddy got to put theirs in their basket too. So that way it kind of shows them that, it's okay, life will go on without the tablets. But it's a good way, like you said, to keep them quiet, though. Honestly, and I know it sounds crazy, but it's entertaining to them for whatever reason. They're engaged with it. It allows them to kind of, be able to maneuver and use it and watch what they want and just kind of be in tune that way. But I was reading something on Facebook too, where now this kind of takes a little bit differently, because my 13-year-old, she used to have an iPhone, and 13-year-olds are not ready. Especially, like, they're just not ready for phones. They're not mature enough to understand how to use them. They want to use social media all the time, and they don't understand that social media, it wasn't designed for children. It was a way that, people could communicate, they could market, they could sell stuff, they could just kind of get that information out there. But it's really not allowing the teenagers to develop socially very well, because everybody knows everyone's shit now, right? And now they can pick at each other constantly no matter what. And it's a gateway for these kids now to, on a different level, it's a bad thing for sure when it comes to that stuff. It's like melting their brains and not allowing them to develop in the most important critical times of their brain development. They're too much relying on the phones, technology, YouTube, and social media. Do you agree or disagree?
It's a hard balance, right? So
it is. It's very hard.
So for example, for my almost 3-year-old, if you're trying to get some quiet time and that's the only thing that's working,
sure,
it's so easy to say, hey, go grab your iPad. She goes and grabs it. You got a solid hour of quiet time. But
right.
I do agree 100% where you do see, go out, next time you take your family out to dinner, if you guys don't do it yourself, take a look around the restaurant. I guarantee you 90% of the tables are looking at their phones, checking Facebook, checking Twitter, playing a video game.
And
sure. As I say it, I can't say that
You're probably doing it too.
I'm not doing the exact same thing. It's so hard not to keep up with everything anymore.
Right.
But it is one of those things you have to find that balance, because you are 100% correct. You get all these kids that are best friends. They talk every single day. They're texting, playing video games together. And then you get them together to go to a park or go to a baseball game, go whatever, and it's almost like they don't even know each other.
Right.
They're so used to texting each other, having conversations over their phone or tablet or on the internet. It's hard to, and I haven't. You're a little more experienced in this. I haven't reached this point yet with my daughter. It's hard to find that balance where they can. They want to watch their videos or play their games, they can do it, but still getting them to go outside. I know when I was younger, obviously it was before all this stuff, every single night, whether it was school night, whether it was weekend, school was in or not, I was outside playing basketball, playing baseball, tennis, doing something outside. We always had the rule that when the lights turned on, it was time to come back home. That's how I grew. I grew up outside, meeting people, playing. Had some buddies. We always played everything together.
Right.
Anymore, I mean, it's almost weird to see kids playing outside.
That's out here where I am, the younger boys are out there playing for sure. So like my 6-year-old will be out there playing a bunch. Bryson, I think you got to kind of kick him in the butt a little bit. Same thing with Riley, you got to kick her in the butt. I have a feeling that with Maddie, we're going to have a hard time when it's time to go inside, that she's not going to want to go inside. So I think she's going to love outside. She already tries to go outside now when it's freezing ass cold out and doesn't want to come in, even though, shouldn't be out there in that. But I think, we made the decision, me and my wife did, where when it came with our oldest, our 13-year-old, that after we thought that she just couldn't use a phone. So, yeah, hold on. Talk.
Yeah, I hear some music going, bud. I think you're watching some highlights while we're doing the podcast.
Why does that happen? That scared the Jesus out of me. Sitting here talking about Riley, and next thing you know, I felt like my computer was getting hacked. Thought that was you.
Not on that one, bud.
Holy cow, scared the hell out of me. Thanks a lot, ESPN. Jeezy Pete's. That's why we should use something else besides ESPN to check our data sometimes. The hell was that?
Let me pose a different question to you. So when they are online watching YouTube or doing whatever it is they do now, how worried or how much do you think about what they're getting on or stuff that they're watching that they probably shouldn't be with how old they are. Do you almost think that there's too much stuff out there that's way too easy to get to that you're worried about them watching?
Yes, and they're smart. My 13-year-old is smart. So, she knows how to... Well, let me take that back. She thinks she's smart when it comes to the phone. But Daddy and Mommy are smarter and can always find out what she does. You know what I mean? But, yes, I'm always concerned with what they're doing now. The 6-year-old is I think he's too young to know, anything. The 10-year-old and 13-year-old, yeah, I got to watch what they're getting on and kind of make sure that it's appropriate. But with 13-year-old, we don't have to worry anymore because, like I said, we took it away from her. And honestly, that's probably the best decision we've ever made. Because a lot of times you're looking at these teenagers, too, and when they're so entrenched in their phones, and that's all they care about is the phones, it's keeping up with the Joneses, per se, to their friends, being the cool kid, musically, Instagram, whatever it is, right? And kind of being a different person than who they really are because they're trying to get the attention of all their friends or whatnot. But they're also always engaged with their friends. From the time they're at school, from the time they go to bed, it's friends, 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 friends. And legitimately, they don't actually get to have a healthy relationship with their family because they get so disengaged with their parents and their siblings that relationship doesn't get to build. And they can get really awkward, too, at that point. So it's like the social media is good on one end when it's like for what we do, right? Promoting, talking, telling a story is good. But when it comes to the children, the kids, that's where I'm kind of like, it shouldn't be for them right now. You know what I mean? They're not there yet to understand how to properly use it and what it's used for. And you're right. They could take that Instagram thing or whatever internet they're on, and it wouldn't take them long, or get on YouTube and be like, oh, what's this? And click on it, and then as you click on something, more things pop up that are similar, and the next thing you know, you never know what they're looking at anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
I think that's the biggest thing that worries me as a parent is my daughter right now, you give her the iPad, she knows the YouTube icon and she knows the Hulu icon. She clicks on something else, she hits the home button and goes back to one of the other two. But once she gets older, gets a little smarter, starts figuring out what the internet is, starts figuring out what other apps are available on the App Store. Once she figures out how she can get in there, and there's a whole world of possibilities in there.
Right.
I think it's I think more than anything, that's what worries me as a parent is what she's going to be watching. If I'm at work, once she's old enough, once she goes to school and she comes home and she's by herself for a couple hours.
Right.
Once they're smart enough, it's kind of hard to figure out what it is exactly they're looking at.
Sure. Yeah. So let me ask you this question: when is that time you're gonna give her a phone?
So I seen that question when you sent me our agenda of what we were talking about. I 100% do not have an answer for that because I do not know. On one side, once she is old enough to understand how to use a phone correctly, and once she starts going to school with all the stuff that goes on anymore in these schools, you almost want to give her one. That way, if something is happening, she has a way to communicate with us if something is going on. Right. But it's one of those where, on the other hand, do I want her to be at school and have access to all that?
Right.
I don't have an answer for that one. I don't know if you have an age when you first started giving your kids phones or not, but I honestly have not. I think it's one of those that we'll kind of cross that bridge when we get there.
Sure. Right. And with Riley, we took it away. And we took all social media away from her, actually. She just wasn't ready to be, doing that stuff. Our 10-year-old, he doesn't have social media. He does have a phone, and it is legitimately used because, we share time. So when he's at his dad's house, he can still talk to us. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how he uses the phone that way, on top of, obviously, he does his YouTube and his games and things like that. But other than that, I don't know if there's a set time frame for the oldest. But I would definitely imagine, if she gets her license, because we're still debating on the whole 16-year-old thing, and driving scares the hell out of me. So, I don't know. When she gets a vehicle and she is driving, then that's when I definitely feel. But then again, like, you're kind of worried, is she going to try to text and drive? You know what I mean? So, there's always that shadow of, like, uncertainty of when to have the phone. You want her to have the phone to be safe while she's in the car, but it's almost like you got to find a way to do the turn it off. Set it up so you turn it off while she's driving. That way, she's not tempted to text and drive or pick up the phone and do some things she shouldn't. So I don't know, man. I'm going to play it by the ear, but for now, she's not in the foreseeable future getting a phone or social media.
It's a hard one. I don't think there really is a correct answer to that. I think everyone has to kind of go by how their kids are, what they're kind of doing in life, whether they're doing sports, so they're staying after school, so you need to know what time you're supposed to be at the school to pick them up or doing stuff like that. That's a hard. I think that's one of those questions. There is no right or wrong answer. You kind of have to go by what your kid, how they hold themselves, what's kind of going on in their life, and
sure,
and go from there. Like I said, I don't think there is a right answer. I do think, and maybe this is already out there. This is kind of back to like how much time they're spending on their phones.
Right.
I would love to see some sort of app, and if this is already out there, then I'm naive to it. Where you could link in their Facebook, their Twitter, their Instagram, all the other social media crap if they got it already, and it all links into one app. So if they want to go to this thing, if they want to go to their Facebook, they have to go to this app, and then it sends it to it, to where you could set a per day or by per week, to where they could only be on those apps, let's say half hour a day. So they come home, do their homework, and they got half an hour a day. Sure. I'd love to see something like that, to where you wouldn't
does
even
exist.
It does exist.
It's called RPACT. So it's OURPACT. Now, it works good on the iPhone. It does not work that great on Androids. RPACT is good because when Riley did have her phone, legitimately, if you say, like, hey, you get 30 minutes on it, and, like, for some reason, or you tell her to put it up, and then next thing you know, she's on her phone. And you're like, what the hell? So I could get on that RPAC thing and just log in, because it's linked to her phone, and I could be like, boom, hit a button, and next thing you know, she'll look up, Dad! And I'll be like, you're not supposed to be on your phone. And it legitimately makes everything go away. So, like, the Safari app just disappears. Or, like, the YouTube, Facebook, whatever it was, like, it just disappears. So they do make something like that. It was really cool. But, of course, when something cool comes out, they jack the prices up on you. So it got pretty expensive on me, monthly too. So it wasn't just like a one-time fee. They started jacking up prices where I want to say it was damn near like $10 a month. So it went from like $2 a month to $10 overnight, which is bullshit. But it's still a good app if you want to at least try to use it to kind of maybe set some limitations, get them kind of maybe in a habit, of how to use the phone. So they do make it that way. So that's an option, right there. But that's a good idea.
It is good to know something's out there, but I would say the kind of the easiest way to curb that is get your kids involved in after school stuff. If they're interested in sports, get them in a couple different sports a year, to where as soon as I was in high school, as soon as school was over, you went straight to the locker room, changed, and it was time for baseball practice. Yep. So you didn't have time. Facebook was just kind of coming out, and it was one of those that was not as big as it was now, but as soon as school's over, I was going straight to baseball practice or baseball game if we had one that day.
Right.
Keep them busy. Find stuff for them to do to where they don't have time to sit on the couch and mess around their phone or tablet. I think as a parent, that's probably the easiest way, is figure out what they're interested in. If it's sports, if it's cheerleading, if it's chess club, if it's drama, whatever it is, get them involved in stuff to where they're busy more than just whatever amount of time they're going to school.
Right. Or you could get them into like Aiden does the ABC mouse thing too. So make them they want to be on a technology, like some type of device like that. Make them use it for educational purposes as well too, not just watching their stinking videos all the time or whatnot. And they do still make flip phones, right?
They do. I have seen them. You don't see them very often, but I have seen them.
Prepay. You can get prepaid, because that was one of my threats whenever Riley was being a turd, man. I'd be like, I'm going to get you a flip phone. And I did. There's a $30 Samsung flip phone. Have fun texting on that shit. Remember that? ABC. Remember that?
I remember being
She
able
wouldn't
to
know how
hold
to
it down,
do it, man.
not even looking at it, and being able to text the whole paragraph.
Not anymore. Now I'd be like, oh my gosh. It'll take
I'd
forever.
be lost.
Yeah, it'll take forever. But, so, the one thing that we use, like I said, is that basket. It's an idea. We've been doing it the past, 4 days. Been pretty neat. And it's been pretty good for me and my wife, too, honestly, because like you said, we're just as guilty typically now as the kids are. But by able to put the phone down, it's just like more time and speaking and just, being interactive that way and being, socializing. Because they need that as they grow up. They need to understand how it is to socialize, how to actually speak, right? And speak right and things like that. So that was my idea. If anybody has any other ideas that they do now, currently, what they do, how they use it, if it's working, things that they tried that maybe worked in the past or whatnot. I mean, me and Nick are all ears. We'd love to kind of get your feedback on that one. And just shoot us up. You can go to info@realdadbrotalk.com if you have a good story you want to tell us, and we can talk about it in the next podcast. Yeah, man, so if you got some ideas, anybody, we're listening. I think Nick's going to need some help as he kind of gets his little girl growing up, man. You're going to, boy, whew.
100%. This is all new for me, so I'm learning. There's no book to tell you how to do all this stuff, and everyone's different. So yeah. I'm learning as we go. And she's just getting into that age where she's getting more interested about stuff, and all that technology is quickly coming.
Well, crap, my 1-year-old does that because all the big kids do it, man. You know what I mean? Like she sees them doing it all. So obviously you would never want that, but the way things are today is kind of goofy, dude. Seriously goofy.
You just wish, like we said earlier, get back outside and play. Mm-hmm. Meet your friends face to face.
Yep, for sure, man. For sure. So, anything else? I know you may want to talk on the CBJ real quick if you want to. You're allowed. And then I think we'll kind of end it tonight, man. I think we had a good episode. We talked about some good stuff. So, if you got any last comments, dude, just go for it.
So I think so CBJ, we had a 10-game win streak.
Mm-hmm.
Game 11, I put it at 90% that I think you watched the game.
I'm telling you, man, I haven't watched nothing. I'm not kidding. I haven't watched
11,
any
we
game.
Lost.
What was the score? Was it big time?
I think it was close, but we lost. The last game, we were I think it was after the first period, or maybe it wasn't quite the end of the first period. We were down 0-3. I was getting ready to text you to tell you to turn the damn game off.
No.
We rattled off 7 goals unanswered, so we won 7-3 to get back in the win column. But CBJ fan, this is a hell of a time to watch hockey. I love watching all throughout the year, and the further you get in the season, the more exciting it is to watch. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Playoff hockey is one of my favorite things to watch, and it's one of the things living here in Columbus. I've gone to quite a few of the home playoff games that keep being against these damn Pittsburgh Penguins the last couple of years, and the way this is shaping up, it may be against the damn Pittsburgh again this year. CBJ are currently in third place. The 2 wild cards, I think they're only ahead of them. I think one of them they're tied with in points. The other one they're only a couple points ahead, but they haven't played as many games. So it's one of those where if they went on a losing streak, they lost 2 or 3, they could go from third place in the division to complete out of playoffs. So it's a hell of a time to be a Blue Jackets fan. I love watching hockey. It's playoff hockey, like you said, is one of the most exciting things I've ever watched. And actually going to the game, I've never heard anything as loud as Nationwide Arena can get. I know 2 years ago, I don't even know how many speakers they blew because the crowd was so loud. They kept having to raise the volume of the music and the announcers, that they kept blowing the speakers because the crowd was so damn loud.
Jeez.
It's a fun time. The Blue Jackets were terrible for a long time.
Yeah.
And once you get to this part of the season, if they're not even competing, it's not that much fun to watch because you're not playing for anything. But
Right.
I love watching it. We're in the playoff hunt. I think we got 6 games left, 5 or 6. So we're down to the nitty gritty of the season. I'm excited for. We play tonight, but it's another one where, along with the Indians starting at 10 o'clock, Jackets are in damn Canada, so they don't even start till 9. So I don't think I'll be watching much of that one either.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him.
Well,
Hopefully you're rooting for him, but not watching him.
that's exactly what I'm going to say. I'm not watching him, man. I'm rooting for him. I read the aftermath of these games, but like I said, I'm not watching the games. I'm letting them win on their own. And then I'll let you handle the playoffs too, man. We'll see. We'll see.
We
I don't want to
appreciate
jinx it. Yes, all the CBJ fans, I'm not watching. I don't want to give you the KOD. So
I like it. I think that's my Blue Jackets roundup. As far as you talked a couple episodes about Shock Top. So I have a little quick one.
Yeah.
Is I love Brewdog. It's brewed. It's brewed here in Canal.
Yeah.
This is a city outside of Columbus. It's a hell of a beer. They've got 3 or 4 of them that I'd probably drink more than I should have. I absolutely love the taste. It's a good IPA. They have one, I think it's called Jet Black Heart.
Oh, that
And
sounds god awful.
They have a 12-pack where you get 4 different beers. You get 3 of each kind. The first 3 are great. I'll drink those any day of the week. Drink a few of them. This Jet Black Heart is a oatmeal, milk, and almond something.
What?
It is probably the worst beer I have ever tasted, and it makes me wonder. And it makes me want to go to Brewdog and say, how did you make this, and why is it in a can, and why is it in my fridge? It is bad enough that I almost just want to throw it away and not even drink it.
So Shock Top
Brewdog, you do a hell of a job with your other beers. Get this crap in the garbage. It is terrible.
Is it black?
Yeah, it's dark, and I've opened 2 of them, and both times, I don't know what's with this damn beer. Both times I've opened it, it's fizzed all over the frickin' place. I've had to clean up after I've opened it. It's terrible.
What if could it be a bad batch?
I think it's a bad beer.
Just a bad beer. Just a gross
I think
beer.
that's what they have awesome beers. I recommend if someone's looking to try something new and haven't tried it, Elvis Juice, Punk, some of their other brands, try it. But Jet Black Heart, stay the hell away from it.
I'm going to brew my own beer this summer. I'm going to try it. Don't know if
you
it'll
brew
be
it,
good.
I'll drink it.
I think I'm going to do some type of some craft blonde, something like that. I'm gonna do it. Just try it. Just say I did it, right?
Try it.
All right.
Maybe that can be going up on the YouTubes.
Ooh.
Get a couple little
good idea.
short little clips of how you brew it. Get a little taste testing going on of it.
Yeah, maybe I suck real bad and I taste it and I throw up everywhere or something too.
Maybe it's bad enough it becomes a challenge.
Touche. By the way, we got to do that. Why are you slacking on that one?
We do need to come up with another challenge. I think my taste buds have finally recovered from that jerky. I think it's about time for something else.
I've been waiting on you, man. Get a challenge together. YouTube is calling us, and we never do it. You know, I read the other day where some guy was like, podcasts are great, social media is great, but you know what's like the best thing to do right now?
I'm gonna guess YouTube.
A show. You do a show, and then they see it. They see you, right? I don't know. Think about it. Even though you're going to be moving to BFE.
Look who's talking.
Think about it. I'm already in BFE, though, so you can't say that. I'm already here. You're moving away farther from my BFE.
True.
We got to think of something. Anyways. But, good show, man. Next week we're going to do it again. Make sure that you're definitely going to the Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook. You've been doing Facebook pretty good. Good job, man. Proud of you.
Trying to get a little more interaction on
Paying
that.
attention.
I like that pool, being able to post something we're going to talk about in the next week and get a little audience participation of what they think.
Let's do that. Yep, I agree, man. Work on that one. And then, go to brodadshop.com. Check out some of the merch. We have tons of cool stuff on there. I rock RDBT shit all the time, which I should. But Cool stuff, man. It really is comfortable stuff. The Punisher logo one is pretty badass. And then my favorite one is still probably going to be the ones with the headset's pretty sweet too. So make sure you check that out. And then what else, dude? Is that it?
Buddy, I think that wraps it up. What are we on, episode 13 now? Episode 14?
Crushing it. That's all I know. Crushing it.
Getting up there.
But until next week, we appreciate you. Continue to follow us, and then, hit us up on info@realdadbrotalk.com.
Join us next week for another epic episode of RDBT. Keep track of what we're doing on all social media @RealDadBroTalk. Till next time.